Over here on the motorcycle I have fitted a very inexpensive $25 maybe $30 GPS mount. This GPS mount is from a marine equipment store, and in this video, or a boating supply store, and in this video I'll explain how I ended up with this and how it mounts and works, and I will take it all apart so you can see the components that I used and the ones that I did not use. So this is how the product looks like in original packaging. Okay, it doesn't fit the screen, maybe this way sideways. Okay, so that's how it looks like, and it's meant to mount. It comes with a base that fits into the edge of the boat where fishing pole is usually kept. So that's the original design idea. That's how it's mounted, or there. So inside the box, sorry guys, I didn't cut this plastic open. It was the store people who cut it open for me. Seriously. Alright. So this is the base mount that fits on the edge of the boat, and there. Okay. So this is just hollow like so, and in it this little piece fits, and this is holding a component that I mounted over there. So it has a nut on this side here, and this nut used to be part of the bracket that's on the bike now. Let me just push this back together. Goes back to the box, has no use of it. What we have here, I'll explain. We'll dig out the that connection at the bottom. What I have here is a pouch that looks like so. It's got a marine map on it, of course. It's looking like somewhat of a super thick Ziploc with a triple, what is it, with this triple closure on it, and another flap that goes over it, and some drawstring so you can wear it around your neck. Practical. The reason why I went for something like this is, of course, rain. So I can put my cell phone in it. It's big enough. I tested it in the store. It fits. On the back side of it there is this little square with these rectangular and recesses and channels which mount with those ones there, and I guess it works this way, or you can rotate it, loosen it there and rotate it sideways to your heart's content, or you can mount it any which way you like. If you want to mount it upside down, so that you can rotate it, and so that you clip it on and slide it down, so that way vibration doesn't shake it out of position, and then just tighten it. Of course you're gonna have to have a GPS that you can toggle from landscape to portrait. So that aside, that's how this pouch works. It's fairly straightforward, and it just has these three closures on it, and besides the paper map here, this is how the back plate looks like. Okay, so it's screwed together. It's made somewhat thick, but when you do put a phone in it, so this is a raised surface, when you put a phone in it, it's gonna bend this backing plate a little bit because of these screws and this raised surface. So that's normal, that's okay, and then it's waterproof, or yeah, we'll go with waterproof. So that's how this part works. We're just gonna hang it over the mirror there for now. So let's dig down to this one here. I have here a, come on over to the other side, I'll get you off the tripod. I have here a 12-volt power outlet here also mounted on it. This is not part of it, but not part of the GPS mount, but it is now. So this knob is part of the GPS mount. It has a nut in it pressed in place, so you can see there's a hexagonal recess in the plastic for a hexagonal nut. So this is something that I mounted. It's completely different. So this comes in the kit. Okay, and how this works is fairly straightforward. Let me put you back on the tripod so I can have use of both of my hands and maybe zoom in. So what I'm doing is I'm just backing out this bolt here. There, maybe we'll give it a little hand. That's how the bolt looks like. It is a carriage bolt. So this is how the head of the carriage bolt looks like. The head is rounded and shiny and everything, but underneath the head there is a square shoulder on it. You can see it's important because the square shoulder goes into that square recess on the base. On the other side of the base there is no square recess. Over here there's just a round hole, so make sure you watch it. Also, there is a little ratcheting little fitment here between the two of them. You can see these like spokes of the wheel, these little serrations there in this bracket there, and it catches this other plastic component here, which I lost in 20 seconds right after opening the box. So make sure you don't lose this, because that's how the stem engages with the base, and when it tightens, that's how this stem stays in a fixed position. Okay, when these little serrations engage. Oh, don't want to lose it. And so beyond that, I have just mounted it here where it's not interfering with the steering. There is the tank mounting bolt one, and the other I just backed out a bolt. I removed completely the whole bolt, and that's how I mounted this base. Fairly straightforward here. Now, where did this nut come from? Because that nut matches that bolt. That nut was underneath the screw head. There is a hexagonal recess, much like the hexagonal recess in the plastic, like for this nut. Okay, so the nut was underneath. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see that there is some thick plastic or whatever underneath the bolt head. Yeah, it's just an edge. So underneath the bolt there is just a hex recess. Okay, for the nut, which I removed, and the diameter of this bolt just happens to fit through the hole, the hexagonal shaped hole, okay, in the base of the bracket. So this is how everything goes back together. This little piece, I am trying not to lose it while holding the camera. So far so good. And then the arm fits over it there, and I need to put you back on the tripod because I do need two hands for this. The length of the bolt here is sufficient enough so that when I put this extra metal plate on it, the thickness of this is still the length of this bolt is still able to mount it. So I locked that on it. This one goes through like so. Line up the square shoulder to make sure you don't deform the plastic, as well as you have enough length on the opposite side. And then my little 12-volt contraption socket gets mounted, and just tighten the nut on the other side, just like so. Solid. So that's how this works. That's how this looks. And I end up buying many items from unlikely sources, not from your motorcycle dealer, where the same stuff could cost 2, 3, whatever times more, because it's motorcycle and they sell it as motorcycle, whatever, some special item. So you have more choices if you look around for marine hardware, as well as climbing, like alpinism, okay, rock climbing and mountain climbing stores for solutions and equipments and stuff, because your motorcycle retailer may be limited.